What is up, internet? You're watching Erik's Joystick. I am Erik, of course, and today we are going to be talking about this thing. So what is this thing? This is the N30 Arcade Stick by 8Bitdo. 8Bitdo is known for making retro-style controllers for modern consoles like the PC, the Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. These controller styles are based off of the Super NES and NES eras. They're very nice and very versatile. I unboxed the FC30 Pro a couple months back. You can go watch that video. I'll leave it in the description below and check it out on Amazon if you like. I'll throw a little affiliate link in there. Click that, shop through that if you want to support the show. Anyway, so the N30 basically does the same thing as these other controllers do, except it's made as an arcade stick. Now, the thing about arcade sticks, they're kind of a niche thing. They're not meant for most modern games. There's only one stick and it's not clickable. There's only 6 to 8 buttons on these things, and they're only good for mostly 2D games like platformers, beat-em-ups, fighting games. A lot of pros use these kinds of things for fighting game tournaments, but otherwise, they're not meant for much else. But lucky for me, I'm kind of a weirdo anyway, and I like niche stuff like this. So I had this idea, one that's probably been thought up by a ton of other people. These kind of controllers, you know, arcade sticks, feel like they're meant for a lot of modern indie games. So if that's not what you're into, maybe go watch something else. Maybe this isn't for you, but if you're like me and have an interest in arcade sticks but never wanted to dish out the money for a really good one, stick around. You might like this one. With that said, let's jump right into it. So taking a look inside the box, there isn't much in there. You get a USB-A to USB-A cable, some instructions, and of course the N30 arcade stick itself. You'll want to hold on to that paperwork. It'll tell you how to switch between systems and where you can update the firmware. I can't really speak for other arcade sticks like the ones that the pros use for tournaments, but everything feels okay. I really like the design. The buttons are fine, even if they're a little on the sensitive side. The stick feels a little mushy at times, but it works fine. The cool thing is you can open up the controller and switch everything out. Yep, you can customize this thing. There are screws on the underside of the controller. Once you take those off, you can change out the buttons in the joystick if you like. One thing I wish you could do is change a faceplate, but it's fine. The controller works wired or wirelessly with a 480 mAh battery, which is said to have 18 hours of playtime and charges in about an hour or two. For a battery that small, that's kinda slow. So I tried it on my Android phone, my PC, and on my Nintendo Switch. It's also supposed to work on iOS and macOS. I don't have those, so I can't really test it on those. On PC, there's a little switch that toggles between the D input and X input. For PC, you'll want to use X input. That way it'll work like an Xbox controller. It works just fine on PC. Once you install the drivers, you're good to go. I had no issues connecting it. Just follow the included instructions. Sadly, I don't think you can use it wirelessly, but the included cable is pretty long. Setting it up to play with on the Nintendo Switch is easy as well. Again, make sure you keep those drivers updated though, and keep that instructional manual handy in case you forget how to do it. Also, the button layout is different from the standard Pro controller or the Joy-Con, so this might not work well on certain games. Using it on Android is just like any other Bluetooth controller. It's usable, but there's a noticeable input lag. I don't know if this will ever be something that'll ever be addressed by Google, but I really hope one day it is. So I tested it on a few games. Some of these games are meant for arcade experiences. Some of them, I just felt like, you know, trying it out. I tried on Rocket League. It feels a little weird, but driving with a joystick felt kinda nice. I think with a little tweaking with the buttons, it could make the experience better. Next up, I played The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, both on the PC and on the Nintendo Switch. I don't think the layout of the buttons work very well for this game, especially on the Nintendo Switch version. Remember how I mentioned how the button layout affected some games? This is the prime example, which is sad because I feel like Isaac would be a really great arcade experience. It looks like you'd have to make a custom controller to play something like Isaac. That's kind of a bummer. So next up, I played Downwell. Very much like The Binding of Isaac, this game feels like it was meant for that arcadey experience because of its replayability and some super simple controls. So of course, it feels and plays really good. I actually did way better than I normally do when I play with a regular gamepad. Downwell feels like it was meant to be played with a controller like this. I also play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch, and it works. Sure, there's gonna be some cramping after longer play sessions, but it works. But I would still prefer the Pro controller or the Plus controller or the FC30 Pro that I took a look at in previous videos. I also tried ARMS, and I was actually kind of hoping this would play well. Sadly, because this thing only has one joystick, it doesn't work very well, even if the game's controls are fully customizable. I couldn't select the right arm because you need the right analog stick to select the arm before a match. I tried Street Fighter 4 because using a fighting game with this thing is kind of obligatory, and fighting games, I'm told fighting games are meant to be played on controllers like these. With that said, I had trouble performing Hadoukens, and I don't know if it's because of the stick or if it's just my lack of experience with these things. I did some reading around and found that it apparently takes some time to get used to. Maybe someone who has experience with arcade sticks and fighting games can provide some kind of insight. Leave a little insight in the comment section below. Next up, I played Alien Soldier. This is the PC port of a Sega Genesis game. Alien Soldier is a very fun and challenging game to play. Quick reactions are required and can decide the outcome of your fights. With that said, it felt really good to play, and I think with some tweaking, it could be perfect. And then I played Metal Slug 3. When I played Metal Slug 3 with this thing, I felt like I was reliving my middle school days with the first Metal Slug game. Sadly, the Steam port is hot garbage and is janky as hell. With that said, don't play Metal Slug 3 on PC. I think I'd recommend the Switch version, or use MAME. I hear the Neo Geo games are really good ports on the Switch. So some final thoughts on this thing. If I had to describe the N30 Arcade Stick by 8Bitdo, I'd definitely use the term entry level. At $79.99, it's a lot cheaper than some of the other sticks I've seen, like the Hayabusa Pro V Arcade Stick by Hori, especially on the Nintendo Switch. That thing is like $149. You can use this thing on PCs, Macs, iOS devices, Android devices, and on the Nintendo Switch. So it's got some versatility going for it. I think that's pretty neat. I really like the aesthetic of it too. It's really cute, and while the buttons are kind of mushy and the stick is kind of mushy itself, you can change it out if you like. That's what I plan on doing anyway, so maybe I'll be doing a video series on this thing where I open it up and change out the buttons and all that. So, you know, stick around if you want to see something like that. At the end of the day, I totally recommend this thing because you can experience retro games and indie games in a newer way, or a nostalgic way if you're old like me and grew up playing NES and Super NES and Sega Genesis and all that good stuff. And it's not that expensive. It's a good entry-level price. You don't have to spend too much money on it. And look at it, this thing is nostalgic. It's cute. I love it. So before we end today's video, I just want to give a shout out to my girlfriend Daisy because she got this for me for Christmas and she knew that I really wanted it. So thanks, babe. Love you. If you want to support the show, you can shop through my Amazon affiliate link. I get a cut of whatever you buy at no extra cost to you. You can follow me on youtube.com/user/EriksJoystick for videos, vlogs, unboxings, and all that other fun stuff. You can follow me on twitter.com/EriksJoystick for updates on everything. It's based on this. And you can follow me on twitch.tv/EriksJoystick for live streams. I've been doing a stream on Phantasy Star Universe. It's a game that I grew up with. I hold it near and dear to my heart. And I've been checking out some other weird Switch games, some good dungeon crawlers. I played a friend's game that they made themselves. Yeah, you know, we have fun there. I'm trying to push the channel more. I'm trying to do more streams. I'm trying to do, I've been doing social eating streams on there, so I'm not going to go too into it. Follow me there if you want. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Eric, and I'm out of here. Peace out.